Have the Mad Titan finally been tossed off his throne? Find out what's going on as I hereby summon all my imps to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So the patch came out today, and the biggest hit was Thanos. Thanos the Mad Titan is still a 6'10", but he now starts in your opening hand, the same exact way that Quicksilver does. So now you get the same exact tech as you see in Quicksilver, which means he's now a card less in your opening hand. Also, in addition to him being knocked down by making your draws way worse, as you hoped in a normal Thanos deck never to draw Thanos, he was the card you hoped that you never drew. They also changed the Time Stone. Again. Now the Time Stone says that on reveal, give Thanos -1 cost just for one turn, not permanently, and then draw a card. This is probably the weirdest change to Time Stone, as it makes Time Stone basically a worthless stone in his arsenal. Unless you're playing this on 4 and want to play Thanos on 5. Not sure why anybody wants to do that. Also, it's kind of ironic that they changed the Time Stone to only work with Thanos, as one of the main reasons that they changed Mind Stone back in the day from being a 1/1 that only drew you Soul Stones to being a 1/1 that drew you 2 1-cost cards is because when Sanctuary 2 came out, Mind Stone had no use for a normal person to have. Now Time Stone falls into that same category. I honestly don't know if this is going to make Thanos any less played. Every time I think they've nerfed Thanos, he keeps showing back up. They've already talked about how they're going to make another change to the stones. If you actually look at the patch notes, they actually say that they have a bigger change for the stones in the future. This is just more of a temporary patch, temporary bring him down until they can figure out what they're going to do with the stones. I have a theory, and that's just kind of my weird, crazy tinfoil hat theory, that maybe in the future, you won't actually shuffle the stones into your deck at all. And you'll only get them on certain turns. And it'll be random which one you get. Because you have 6 stones on here, at the beginning of each turn, if you got a stone, I don't think that would be the worst way of doing Thanos. And I think you still might leave him as being one of those cards that might be too powerful. And the stones might even just do less in the future. They might do only stuff that is specific to Thanos also. But I can see him starting in your hand. And as long as he's in your hand, maybe get a stone each turn. Start in your opening hand, as shuffle the 6 stones into your hand. Instead of shuffling the 6 stones, start in your opening hand. As long as he's in your hand, get a stone each turn, randomly. Then it'd just be a matter of which stone you get. And you'd have to change Soul Stone to do something else. Not Soul Stone, Mind Stone. But I think Mind Stone could be changed to be an Emma Frost. Do the same thing that Emma Frost does, where it just gets a random card from your opponent's deck and puts a copy into your hand. I don't think that'd be broken for Mind Stone. Might be a little bit broken for doing the Mockingbird style of it. But I think they might even be changed that in the future they're not counted as cards that are played, or they're not counted as cards that didn't start in your hand or didn't start in your deck, because that might just be what happens. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the stones, but I am guaranteeing you this is not the last change you're going to see to Thanos the Man Titan. Okay, other than Thanos getting nerfed, there's only one other nerf this patch, which is technically an OTA nerf and didn't even need to be on a patch nerf. Meek went from a 1-1 to a 1-0. Yay. Boo? I'm not sure. This doesn't change how big Meek gets, doesn't change how small. It changes his floor. It makes him a little bit more vulnerable to Shadow King, but other than that, even when he was a 1-1, was he not vulnerable to Shadow King? So other than those two nerfs, technically 3 nerfs, because Thanos' stone also got nerfed, we had some major buffs. Angela went from a 2-2 down to a 2-0, but instead of her gaining 1 power, she gains 2 power. Most ironic thing about this is I believe this is where Angela started. She used to be a 2-2 that gained 2 each time. And they thought it was so broken that they had to go and they had to nerf it. And they've been chasing the Angela forever. And it's kind of ironic that finally the game has caught up to where Angela started at. If she wasn't this at the beginning, she was this near the beginning. I know this used to be her stat line and what she did. This is a strong card to get early game. This is a strong card for early pool players. Because if you just even slam down cards on her, she's a 2-6. If you put any kind of movement with her, like even a Nightcrawler, she can be a 2-8 without really trying to do anything. That's a strong card for early game. Sabretooth got an itty bitty teeny tiny buff to him. Again, could have been an OTA change. He went from a 3-4 to a 3-5. Means absolutely nothing. I don't think this is going to make Sabretooth get any kind of more play. The fact that he doesn't gain any power when he dies means that he really isn't worth playing. What is this really helping you do other than maybe, and I mean just maybe, getting your null up? But there's way better ways of even getting your null up. That's where Deadpool comes into effect. I'm still not sure Sabretooth sees play because of this change, because it really has no way of buffing itself. It's just now an indestructible 3-5. The fact that there are so many other 3-5s at this point, it's getting kind of funny. If we look at the power points here for 3s, and we look at it, we're getting a good hunk of 5s now. And if we were to look at all the 5s, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 3-5s now. That's a lot of 3-5s. And I don't know if Sabretooth makes the cut anymore. Other big buff, small buff, weird buff is Crossbones now finally becomes a 4-10. This has been something that people have been asking for, I should say, ever since Call Obsidian came around. The question of why should I play Crossbones when Call Obsidian exists now has an answer. Because it's a matter of, do you have the 1-drop or do you have the priority on that location? So now it's basically a choice. And if you want to, run both. It's not that bad of an idea to run both in a deck. Put down a 1-drop, put down the Cull Obsidian on 4, put down the Crossbones on 5, and be happy. Also, this is kind of a weird pseudo buff to Sakar. As if you are winning a location on 3, you can play down the Crossbones on 4 without worrying about what's on there. And then on turn 5, you can easily play down the Sakar, because Sakar will be then dropped to 4. There is a way where you can almost do like Psylocke on 2. And as your Psylocke's uncontested on 2, which it's not impossible to do, you can just drop the Crossbones down on 4 now. And then go right into drop on 4, which is actually 3 at that point. And then drop the Sakara on actual 4. Not the worst idea in the world, or the Zabu. Anything that's 2 that will let you get something out cheaper. That's a pump on 2. Now means that you can play the Crossbones if it doesn't get tested on 4. Which is mostly Zabu and a little bit of maybe Psylocke. That's a big pump to go from being a 1 point in a location to being an 11 point in a location if you do the Psylocke version of this. Interesting little stuff here. Other than all of that, we had one final change. Not a big change, but just a small change. And that simply is Baxter Building. For the longest time, I'm not sure why, I don't know why, but Baxter Building used to only get +3 power. Never made sense. Now it gives 4. And the reason it gives 4 is because the Baxter Building is also known as the home for the Fantastic Four. So this is a change that I don't know why it took them so long to do. This is how it should have been when it originally came out. Doesn't really change anything more than that. Just kind of interesting, just kind of fun that they finally got around to changing this. Anyways, that's all the changes that are in this current patch. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, remember, play for fun.